up in the back, I want to give folks another opportunity. If you'd like to comment, why don't you come up to the podium so the microphone can pick you up. Feel free to come on up. As you can tell, we are at the very beginning of talking about this issue, and so all perspectives are welcome.
This conversation tonight just resonated with me, and all I want to do is ask you to think about another perspective on your hiring practices. I live in Park Ridge. My children went to school here. I used to be a reading specialist in this district myself. My daughter went to undergrad at Iowa. She has her master's from DePaul. She very much wanted to teach school in Park Ridge. Because she didn't have the experience, she was overlooked in our school district. Her very first year of teaching, she was the outstanding teacher of the year for Lincolnwood School District. So I think you all missed one heck of a teacher. That's all I have to say.
Appreciate it. You know, actually, if we can get your name too for the minutes, that would help.
Shelley Weiner.
Great, thank you very much. Any other thoughts or comments at this point?
Oh,
Come on up. Yeah, let me get your name for the minutes
I can make it up here. Oh, it's Charlene Foss.
Great.
Yeah. First of all, I wanted to say I welcome the fact that you're looking at maybe seeing if there's some financial savings that we can find here, along with getting the right mix of teachers. I think always we all agree as a parent. I have 3 children too, which go to this school. I'm more interested in getting the best teacher possible, no matter who that might be. And you were looking at a lot of things, not just experience and how degreed they are, but also their enthusiasm and your when you evaluate that person, how well you think they'll work with the teams and how enthusiastic, how much they'll resonate with the students. And I think you probably have a pretty good radar for that. So that's my biggest concern. I think it sounded to me like what has motivated looking at hiring practices is also, financial considerations. And in that regard, I think when you look at that lane and step graph that was on the materials, I'm wondering how much does it matter if we lower that ratio from 82% of masters to maybe some teachers who are less degreed or less experienced, maybe you move that down to 60% or 50%. Because with the lane and step program, they're going to move down and across that graph so quickly. If they spend 1 year in a cohort program, they're jumping across 4 lanes all the way to the master's lane, and then after a couple years, they're moving down. So you're only realizing those savings in the first couple years anyway. When you look at the graph, it's a grand here, a grand there, and maybe 5, 7 years into their career, the savings that you wanted to realize is completely diminished. It's gone. So if we were to look at that, do an analysis like Mr. Borelli suggested, and really see if you wanted to change that mix of new hires versus credentialed hires, you'll get that savings front loaded, but you won't see it long term unless you're seeing a lot of turnover in the teaching ranks, right? So what I'd like to see is a comprehensive analysis. How many dollars do you save over 5 years or 10 years? Because the big dollars that are going into teacher compensation is increases that are built into the union contract. It's compensation, it's TRS payments, it's insurance, it's the bonus they get when they retire, it's the step-ups in the last 2 years, it's the pensions that go on for 30 years. So changing this mix isn't going to hit the big dollar numbers that we all need to be focusing on. So we can get some of the capital improvements, we can get reserves, do all the things that parents out there in the community are really looking to y'all to budget for. So I'm glad we're having this discussion, but I really think in the scheme of things, it's really small peanuts. So what we need to focus on, I think, is budgeting and the union stuff when that comes up next year. And if we can even spend half the time we spent on the discussion today for hiring, that would be great. I think we can get a lot done.
Thank you. Anybody else?
Hello, my name is Jerry Mulvihill. I'm a 5th grade teacher here at Roosevelt. I'm just here tonight to kind of observe what was going on. The PRA president, Aaron Breen, kind of called me and said, I think they're having a discussion on this tonight. Maybe we should go and listen. So I resisted the temptation to speak until now. So much I guess I would add to the conversation, but a couple of points in things that I've heard. I think that the system that we've had in place over the years that Sandra describes has worked really well for the district. It has allowed the district to kind of diversify. We have a diverse group of professionals in the district. some who have bachelor's degrees and less experience, some with master's degrees and more experience. As a teacher, I really appreciate the process of being involved in the interviews when positions open up in my school every year. Generally, we interview 5 candidates after our principal has narrowed it down from many, many more, and we get a mix of individuals, and we always look for the best qualified candidate. And what I have found personally is that what really matters is the individual themselves. Sometimes that means we have hired teachers with master's degrees and beyond in experience, and other times we have found it's meant that we've taken the first year teacher right out of college, and I think the parameters in place have allowed for the quality of teaching that we have in the district, and I would ask you to look really, really carefully at what we currently have and the benefits that it has provided to the district over the years. I think also one of the board members talked about the issue of, are there any metrics involved in having advanced degrees that show the benefit to the classroom? I think that years of experience and level of education both matter, and I think they go hand in hand and they work together. I think if you ask any classroom teacher, are they a better teacher now than they were their first year teaching, the answer would be yes. I think that if you ask any classroom teacher, are you a better teacher now having gotten your master's degree than you were when you had your bachelor's degree, I think the answer would be yes. I can speak for myself personally. I know that my master's degree has allowed me to gain a better knowledge base of the subject matters that I teach. It has allowed me a very in-depth understanding of how different children learn differently. I've gained knowledge on how to differentiate more skillfully. And I think that has become even more important because we are entering an era of public education where you have to look at the individual needs of the students. The federal government is now implementing new mandates that require us to use the response to intervention protocol and to use data and to look at how students perform in a more statistical, mathematical way in order to drive instruction, in order to teach students. I would also like to ask you, or to caution you against the concept or thought or theory that less experienced teachers or younger are more effective than experienced teachers. I'm a 20-year veteran teacher, and I'm sure every teacher in my school would say to me that no one brings more lifeblood to the classroom than a teacher like myself. Mrs. Foss.
Amen. He's a rock star.
Thank you for that. I knew I could count on you by that.
You have one or two supporters that you share too. Go ahead.
So please look carefully at that, and please don't assume that a younger or less experienced teacher would bring more to the classroom. I think the policy that we have in place really gives the teacher leaders in the building, the administration oversight on really how to decide who the best teaching quality candidate is, to look carefully at the fact that yes, we may have 3 master's degrees teachers on this team of candidates that we're interviewing, but we do have 2 bachelors as well. When we interviewed this past spring with Dr. Dwyer, and out of the 5 candidates, we chose a candidate with a master's degree. He kind of sat back, and I could see the lump go down his throat, and he says, "Okay, I'll have to call Dr. Stringer." So he's careful not to make the final announcement to the candidate or to the teachers until he knows that he's got the support of the board and the support of the administration as well. So I could go on and on and on, but this is a great discussion, and I hope it will continue. And I will also hope that you will welcome the opinion of the teachers in the classroom too, who would have a lot of thoughts on this. Thank you very much.
Thank you. You know, I think it's safe to say, I think we heard a number of very good perspectives on this. And for me at least, and probably for other members of the board as well, this is a discussion of a topic that we don't normally tackle as a board, but really should, because it's an important issue, you know, both financially and for making sure that we have the best teachers teaching our kids, which really is our paramount purpose. And, you know, I look forward to continuing to discuss this. I certainly don't want to make any moves that are rash. And, you know, want to make sure that, you know, we're doing the right thing, you know, both by our taxpayers, but also by our students and our parents. So, you know, I want to thank everybody who's spoken up this evening. Any final comments from the board before we move out of committee of the whole and head into the regular agenda? Okay, not hearing any. I'll suggest we take a 5-minute break before we move